Getting my job at a local theater is one of my best highlights for 2022. Even though that there was a lot of bad stuff last year. Even though I took the job at the place where I experienced that scary creeper that was next to the theater screen in the same place was kind of odd. I don't know why I chose to work there and why I chose the same exact place. Is that I just couldn't find any more jobs. This happened a few weeks ago after the new night premiere for the new Smile movie that was releasing today. The late shifts were kind of spooky. Many people who were there made some rumors that the theater was haunted. No one knows how the rumor started, but ever since the Halloween rolled around, that there's been a white giant pumpkin on top of the roof. That kind of scares me whenever my shifts are done. The movie theater is a very old place with a lot of history. During 30 minutes during the premiere, I closed the front door. Something we always do at the end of horror movies at the late night. And we will just let the people out at the back of the door behind the stage behind the stage where people perform, because I forgot to mention, and actually, you probably already know, because in my last story time where I experienced that crazy man, I said that the theater is located in kind of like a little mall. I would usually help myself in the snack bar eating some popcorn, and also take some refreshings with the soda machines. There was not that many stuff to do, by the way, even though that some of the staff had already left, and my boss had stayed in his office. The night began to drag on forever. Eventually, around 2 a.m. in the morning, people started to leave the theater. Even though that some people were trying to get to the front door, I quickly pointed to the back door, and everybody started to head out that way. As soon as everybody left, I closed the back door and went to the ticket booth. The only thing that was left to do was to clean the cinema. However, after I went inside, I saw him sitting in the second row after the credits have ended. Kind of weird for a horror movie. Even though I didn't see someone with a black I didn't see anybody wearing a black hoodie at the ticket booth that night. But anyway, I decided to clean the floor and put up empty sodas in the trash. What struck me is that even though that the credits have ended and the curtains have closed, the man was still sitting in his seat. Then I thought maybe she or he maybe fell asleep. I mean, it was late. And by the way, who falls asleep in a horror movie? They would usually probably get up after a sound they hear during the movie. I usually watch them to stay awake. When I got closer, I tried to make loud footsteps as possible so I can get like a reaction or something. But that didn't work, and when I kindly asked the person to leave, I was made with an eerie silence. I tried to get a glimpse of the person's face, but before I even can do that, the person turned in the opposite direction. The whole thing started giving me the creeps. So I left the cinema as fast as I could. I told him about the stranger in the theater, and then he got mad and told me to get in there and deal with it. I walked in the cinema to find out that the stranger was missing. I checked all the bathrooms, all the hallways, Moe's Pizza, the modeling room, the stage, Rosie's gym, the network station, Happy Burger, and the dance studio, and found nothing. When my boss asked about it, I told him that I took care of it, but in reality, I barely did anything. The strangest part is that one of the seats in the middle row begins folding down, even though folded up millions of times. And it was the seat that the exact same person was sitting in with the black hoodie. The only person I told about this was my friend Ben that works in the theater and in the booth with me. And after hearing the stories for the first time, he seemed really confused after I told him when the curtains had closed. What he said to me next gave me the creeps. He went on and told me that I was the only person working there besides my boss. So who was it that closed the curtains? Maybe those people were right that the theory was true and that the theater was actually really haunted. I still show up to work every day besides that incident. And whenever I think about this experience, I always expect what happened last year when that man that tried to trick me by covering my phone in blood and tried to kill me, maybe he was responsible for it. And the person that was working with him was the person in the purple hair. I don't know. I just know I will probably be prepared for the next premium night prepared. Especially if it's a horror movie.